Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today was a weird day. I dyed my hair. You can't really tell right now, but that's because I have to do touch-ups. And no, I'm not actually April Fool's pranking. I'm not trying to. But I did, and it's pretty crazy actually. But today we're just gonna do my top 10 favorite movies of all time. As of, April 1st, 2020? It's 2020. I almost said 2019. Good job, Kay. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And our song of the day is going to be Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey, because you'll see why soon. Number 10 is Hush from 2016. So this movie is about this deaf writer who basically she gets into this thing with like a killer basically, and he says that he will not come inside until she wants to be dead basically. I love horror films. You probably didn't know that, but it was really good. I only saw it like last week, but it was just it was enough to make it onto the top list, honestly, because it just was so amazing. And it's like a psychological thriller and a horror film. Right up my alley is what I also like to call it. But, we're just gonna go to my number 9 pick. And my number 9 pick is Black Swan from 2010. Now, this movie is so good. Another psychological thriller that follows a ballerina named Nina Sayers, played by Natalie Portman, who basically she wants to play the both swan people in the play. I don't know what they're called. Like both parts in Swan Lake, basically. So the black swan and the white swan, basically. So it's basically her trying to do that, and while she does that, she drives herself to madness, basically. And that's what the entire movie's about. And that ending is the most perfect thing I think I've ever seen. So we're just gonna go to my number 8 pick. My number 8 pick is the original Spider-Man from 2002. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I absolutely hate superhero movies more than anything. But this, I make an exception for this. The original Spider-Man is just the absolute best, and you can't argue with me on it. Honestly, I love Tobey Maguire. And I love Kirsten Dunst. But it was just the perfect thing. They made it iconic, and then Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone just had to ruin it, and then they ruined it even further with Tom Holland. I'm just saying it. You didn't need to do that. We didn't need 500 remakes. This isn't Batman. But it was so good. But I'm sure you know what Spider-Man is. But Spider-Man, if you don't know, is about a boy named Peter Parker who is in high school, and he gets bitten by a radioactive spider on a school trip, and then that radioactive spider basically gives him superpowers. And it's a really great movie, but I do hate spiders. So, do I cringe every time I watch it? Of course. Number 7 is It from 2017. Now, I never actually saw the original one from is it the 80s or 90s? I don't know. But I've never seen it either way. So, but this one was so good. Now, it follows a killer, well, it's like a shapeshifter, I'd probably say is what I would call it. I don't know. Basically, it's it. But basically this shape-shifting thing is terrorizing these, this, like, group of children, which, we love the Losers Club. I have my own Losers Club at school. Shout out to my squad. But it's just, like, it starts with, like, this little, this boy in, like, middle school, and his little brother, Georgie, goes missing, and then he finds out, T, basically. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but it's just, but basically this shapeshifter, like, terrorizes these kids, and that's what it is. Number 6 is Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street from 2007. Now, I love me a good Tim Burton film, and I also love me a good Johnny Depp film. But Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street is basically about, this barber who, starts out with this, guy who earlier, was this man named Benjamin Barker, and, he was torn apart from his, wife and his daughter, Joanna, basically, and then he comes back later as Sweeney Todd, and he is seeking revenge on the judge who, tore him away from his family, and he's a demon barber, of Fleet Street, and that's basically all I can say without giving too much away. Oh, and that movie is just so great. If you've seen The Office, that's the play that, Andy was in on that one episode. He played Anthony, I'm pretty sure, in the play, which, it's great. Number 5 is Clueless from, when was it made? 1996, I think? 1995 or 1996. It's one of the two, but I promise I did do my research, I just can't remember. So Clueless follows this, basically she's like the epitome of the Valley Girl, Cher Horowitz, and I was actually Cher Horowitz for Halloween, last year, basically, because this year I was Brendan Urie, and then last year I was Cher Horowitz, and basically it follows, like, her and, basically her getting through high school, and it's, like, she wants to, help this girl who is, like, the ugly duckling trope, basically. That's what it is, and she's, like, using her popularity to, like, for, like, a good cause, almost, I'm pretty sure is how I'd explain it. But then her whole life just, like, goes bonkers, basically. Now, number 4, I have 10 Things I Hate About You from 1999. Oh, this movie is amazing, and, is, in fact, just, fantastic. This movie is about, these two sisters who, aren't allowed to date. Their names are Kat and Bianca, because their dad will not let them date, basically. But, this new kid, his name is Cameron, he comes to the school and really, like, just has a crush on Bianca from the moment he saw her. Now, we all know they're not allowed to date, so basically, their dad makes a rule that Bianca can date when Kat does, and Kat, is really not the kind of person who wants to date anyone. So Cameron, devises a plan to, pay a guy to take Kat out on dates so he can, basically date Bianca. Well, there is another mix in there, but, like, we just don't talk about that, because I don't want to spoil anything. Now, number 3 is Edward Scissorhands from 1991, I believe. Now, as I said before, I love me a good Johnny Depp film. Now, Edward Scissorhands is basically about this guy who has scissors for hands, and he falls in love with this girl named Kim. That's pretty much it. And you'll also see very soon that I also love a good Anthony Michael Hall film, which, by saying that, I basically just gave away the second pick, which is The Breakfast Club from 1985. Now, I was John Bender for Halloween 2 years ago. Have you figured out that I make my own Halloween costume, so I can be whatever I want, honestly. But The Breakfast Club is about, well, the plot sounds kind of boring, but oh my gosh, if you haven't seen this movie, what are you doing? It's one of the most iconic films of all time, and is in fact deserving of that title. Now, The Breakfast Club is about these 5 people. Their names, well, they all have personalities. It's a brain, an athlete, a princess, a basket case, and a criminal. And they're the Breakfast Club. So it's like we have like all of the icons of the 1980s, Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald, basically just the it people, and it's a John Hughes film, but it's about these 5 polar opposite people from different worlds, that all end up in detention on the same Saturday, and it's basically them just like in detention for a Saturday for 8 hours. That's basically the movie, but I promise you it's so much more than just that boring plot description that I just gave. It's so near and dear to my heart. But anyway, now right before I tell you my number 1 pick, please subscribe. And my number 1 pick is The Great Gatsby from 2013. Now, I love me a good Leonardo DiCaprio film. I love me a good Tobey Maguire film. And honestly, just what a great storyline. I can't wait to read this book in high school, honestly. It's one of the only reasons why I want to go to high school. But it's The Great Gatsby. There's so much depth to it, and I will ramble. So I'm gonna try to not do that. Basically, it's about this writer who lives in New York now, and his name is Nick Carraway, and he basically goes to see his cousin Daisy, and then he comes to find that he gets a note inviting him to one of this man named Gatsby's parties, and Gatsby is really mysterious, and no one really knows who he is, and there's like a lot of stuff that goes on in between. There's like a whole, just honestly, I would call it like a love square, pentagon, a love pentagon, but it is such a good movie, and I haven't seen it in so long, and I really want to see it. But anyway, if you enjoy that video, please like and subscribe, and turn on notifications if you do, and if you want to hear more of my favorites, tell me in the comments below, if they don't get disabled. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.